Welcome to the basement. What is up, guys? Today we have Owen. We're going to talk about some good stuff, some unhuman-like characteristics and unhuman-like people, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a good time, and we got a great top 10 for you today. So, Owen, go ahead and say what's up. Tell them what you've been up to, and yeah.
What's up? I'm Owen. Haven't really been up to much recently.
Now, if you guys didn't know, and you didn't know, I guarantee it, Owen is like a regular around the basement. Even though he's not always like, he's actually never been on the cameras before. He chills with us down here when we have film festivals down here. Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a great time.
So he's probably feeling right at home down here, and it means we're going to have a good show here.
Mm-hmm. He's a part of the Reality Corporation family.
Yeah.
That has what, like... So wait. We have Owen. We have his girlfriend, Shannon. We have Rowdy, former guest on the show.
Does he count?
Yes. He's a private Snyder.
Private Snyder. He's an essential part of the family.
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett Wiseman for sure.
Noah Atkins, second guest on the podcast, and his girlfriend.
Yeah, Peyton Levi, of course.
You guys are forgetting someone.
I don't think so. We don't have any interns.
You guys remember that guy named Alex? Who's Alex? That rings a bell.
Alex Nil?
Meal? Alex Meal.
Yep.
Intern Meal.
Intern Meal. He's just a straight snack, as the kids say these days.
That's right. So, anyhow, you got anything that you got on your mind that you want to get out to the good people of whoever watches this?
Not that I know of. Nothing particular.
All right. You got anything cool going on?
No.
Man, sounds good. Okay. Well, how about we get started with Blower's choice topic here of this is super athletic, nearly superhuman guy. Is it Will Chamberlain?
Yes, it is Will Chamberlain, one of the greatest athletes in, I'd say, past 100 years or so, because I don't really know a lot of athletes before then. I know there's like back in Greece there was some stories of these crazy athletes, but Will Chamberlain,
like back then, their example of superhuman was like Xerxes.
Yes,
and don't get me wrong, like Xerxes was nuts because the Greek people were like probably like a little bit over 4 foot, and Xerxes was towering over them at like probably 7 foot. And 7 foot today is like, wow, that's a tall guy. Yeah. But 7 foot back then was, Jesus Christ, that guy is big.
Did you know 17% of American 7-footers play in the NBA?
What percent?
17%. It was like a while ago, but still, that's still pretty insane.
Yeah, the other 83% plays Chewbacca.
Yeah. Okay, so I got some facts about Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain, in college, played basketball, but he also was on the track team, and this is where he made some of his most just insane feats of strength and with the human body. As a freshman in high school, I ran track. I was 14. I ran the 800 meter in around 2 minutes 15 seconds, which is pretty good for someone my age. So around 1 minute and 7 seconds per quarter mile. Wilt Chamberlain in college, so 4 years older than me, ran a quarter mile in 47 seconds. So you have to understand this. 20 seconds in a quarter mile is unbelievable. I had trained for months to run that, and he wasn't even a track runner. He ran a quarter mile in 19 miles per hour, which, if you don't know how unbelievable that is, it's pretty crazy, because he was also 7'1" at the time. He won the high jump as well in his college conference. The high jump. 7-footers are not known to be high jumpers.
Yeah, I want to talk about something really quick first. Okay. I have unusually large feet, okay? Like I wear a size 18 shoe. This guy probably wore something like that or bigger,
Oh yes.
which means having big feet means you're a little clumsy with walking, and it's you trip, you kind of you have some trouble traversing some more narrow stuff, but he was not affected by his big feet
No.
at all.
Which is insane.
Right, and big feet are like useful on like a basketball court.
Yes.
But running, you just want like a good sized foot.
And let me put this into perspective. How tall are you, Buster?
Probably 6'5", 6'6".
6'5", 6'6". Imagine being a foot taller with a foot longer wingspan and running 20 miles an hour.
Right, I can't run probably like 10.
I'd say you could get 10.
Maybe, and if you did, only
sustain
for a
it.
short
Right.
time.
Right.
This guy challenged Muhammad Ali to a boxing match. The date was set. It doesn't really say why he didn't do it, but Muhammad Ali is maybe the greatest boxer of all time. And when you look at the comparison between the two, I think he may have won. Just because Muhammad Ali could barely reach him. And look at this. Look, a guy who outlifted Arnold Schwarzenegger in his 50s. Gosh, it's something. It's unhuman, and that's how I wanted to open up today's episode. We're talking unhuman-like characteristics in humans. It's like Eliud Kipchoge, the guy who just broke the marathon record under 2 hours for 26 miles.
Oh God, man,
It's crazy. He looks like he's 80 and he's only 30. It's a crazy. He looks like an alien. It's insane. Do you want me? I'll pull him up real quick. It's these unhuman-like people that it interests me.
Well,
I don't know. It's crazy.
like they are still very much human. It's just like they are approaching the ideal state of being a human physically.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing,
Same.
like the further you go in these directions, like the more outlandish it is. Like there was the fella who was like 9'11" or something crazy.
I think it was 9 foot, maybe.
Yeah.
What was the tallest man ever?
Yeah.
He
but
didn't live
know,
very long at all.
Well, that's as you get taller, you
Yeah.
get affected by your bones just can't support your frame.
Yeah, Robert.
8 feet 11.
8'11", not 9'11".
Yeah,
That's a
Robert
little excessive.
Pershing Wadlow.
How old was he when he died? 30s? Maybe early 40s?
Let's see. Robert, let's just look him up. I think it was very, very young.
Yeah, it was definitely very young. I'm just not exactly
see,
sure how young.
Yeah, 22.
Jesus, man.
Well, he had a 9'5"
22.
wingspan.
Oh, 9'5". Have you ever seen a basketball hoop? Imagine 7 inches off. That's how long his arms were.
Dude could put one finger on the mouth of a polar bear and reach the other end of the polar bear. That is insane, man.
It's crazy. I stood next to him. What his shoe size was a 37 AA, which I'm guessing is very large. A 37.
I don't know what the double A is.
I don't
but
know either.
37
I
is a big number.
suspect the double A is a measure of the wideness of the shoe.
Probably so.
Jeez. Here's Kipchoge. He's like 32. He looks like he's 80.
Well,
It's a weird.
that's kind of a mix of nutrition and genetics.
He's from Kenya and would run 6 kilometers to school every day as a 5-year-old.
Good God,
that
man.
village has produced 5 or 6 of the 10 fastest people of all time in the marathon.
What's this village?
It's in Kenya in the mountains. It's like 3,000 feet below sea level. It's
3,000
insane.
feet below sea level?
And they run every day. So their oxygen is depleted. And they run at those altitudes. It's insane. It's in
like
Kenya.
They're permanently acclimating to that.
Mm-hmm. Nandi County, Kenya. It's insane. It's unbelievable the amount of runners come from this place. Let's see. See, there it is. Looks beautiful. But they have these dirt roads that these professional runners run on. It's in West Kenya. It's crazy. Ethiopia and Kenya and that Eastern Asia or Eastern Africa has some great runners. Somalia, Mo Farah, who immigrated to the UK as a small child, one of the best 5K runners of all time. Have you guys ever tried to run a 5K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran a 5K in I think it's like 13 minutes. I ran a 5K for training. I trained for months. I was above average.
Sure.
And ran at 19:19. And for me, I was throwing up at the end. Like, about to pass out.
And this guy was probably fine.
Yeah, he probably, when he was done, he
Probably
was like,
felt great.
yeah, that was it. 13 minutes, 9 seconds. Gosh. That's insane.
And he's not even the first?
Nope. Second fastest runner in Britain.
Oh, man.
It's insane. I think running may be like the biggest feat of the human body, just because the endurance that's needed for these long distance. You lift something, you lift something.
But the thing is, there's like people, like you say that, right? And reasonably, yes. But then you look at how unreasonably, like the unreasonable weights that people lift.
It's true.
There are people that lift literally like a ton.
Yeah.
Which is, like, they deadlift a ton.
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd. Like, of course people can't do that, but then they do.
Well, I mean,
it's
there's
just, like, come on, man.
there's also, wasn't there some girl a couple years back that, like, swam the English Channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'll never understand stuff like that.
The thing is, and I think swimming, that might
Swimming
is very
it's
hard.
probably
It's
the most
supposed to be.
exhaustive extra, because it's everything. Everything
It's like
is working.
like the Iron Man.
Yeah.
The 2-mile swim, 26-mile run, and 100-mile bike. The 2-mile swim is probably the hardest part.
I mean, you know, the English Channel, the most narrow part is like 90 miles long still.
Right. Well,
That's
you know,
wild.
there have been people that swam from, like, Florida to Cuba.
That's wild. But you got to think, were they swimming like, swimming, or were they stopping,
Well, I mean, you don't
Even if
always
you have
have
to
That's
stop.
tough. That's 90 miles between
About
Cuba and
90,
Florida?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That probably took a long time too, because it takes
Oh,
these
yeah.
professional swimmers 2 hour or an hour or so for 2 miles. I think. Well, let me look.
No,
let me
that
look at
seems a little slow.
Let me look at fastest 2-mile swim. How long? Or why did it? Okay, let's just look. Swim world record. That'll pop it up. I don't know what it would be. Okay. Does no one have a?
Man,
Okay.
nobody cares about swimming.
Yeah,
It's not.
record. I'm gonna look up for Iron Man.
Yeah, okay.
Fastest Iron Man swim split. Yeah. So 39 minutes. Wow, for 2.4 miles.
That seems right. Yeah.
Gosh, I thought it was a lot more than that.
No, man.
Jeez, you got to think swimming.
I mean,
God. Jeez.
And that's like heavy swimming the whole time.
Yeah. It's in what, Hawaii
I have no
or
idea.
somewhere, or does it change places?
It
yeah,
probably
there's
changes.
Ironman races everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But gosh, people don't understand how hard it is to swim for that long, and just the feet. What is the greatest challenge to the human body? It's something that you could debate for days, but it's like different reasons. So wait.
There's so much stuff. And
Yeah.
some of it's like physically exhaustive. Some of it's like, staying awake for as long
Yeah,
as humanly
I was thinking that.
possible. And, there's that guy who said there's 7 years. Like, no. You didn't stay awake for 7
No.
years. Nice try.
No.
But, like, the highest was maybe, like, 19 and the guy died.
Yeah, the guy stayed awake for 11 days. He was a college student.
Yeah, that was the guy for the Does
Yeah.
he still hold the record?
I believe so.
Because some people, die from exhaustion within fewer days than that.
Time without sleep. And then the Russian sleep experiment. That's got to be a whole load of crap.
That's not real. That's just an internet story.
I mean, maybe there was an experiment where they kept people awake and then they died, but the fact that they turned into zombies is like out of this world. Stayed awake for 11 days and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So he died around, or no, he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's 71 to 72 years old, somewhere in there.
Like 20 years ago, he suffered from like severe insomnia, though.
Really?
Yeah, he like haunted him. So he tells people to get sleep.
Oh, jeez. He was 17, a high school student. Oh, my God.
Well, he was a nerd.
Was he?
Yeah, like he and his buddies did it as like a science experiment.
Hmm.
Like they monitored like everything that was going on.
I could see you doing this, Buster, because you never sleep.
Yeah, but I'd be too stressed out by high school.
Yeah. If you don't get sleep, you'll just hallucinate. And
Well, yeah, I don't mind that. I just want to keep my grades up.
his record attempt was attended by Stanford sleep researcher Dr. William C. Dimmitt. Let's see. He was a American sleep researcher and founder of the Sleep Research Center at Stanford. He came and watched it. He's still alive as well. He's 91.
Wow.
Gosh. He went to U Chicago.
The Stanford fella?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He
But there's
went to
some-
Honolulu to watch it.
You know, we can talk about this for like an hour.
Yeah.
There's just there's so many ways the human body can be pushed, and I'm not gonna imply that any of it is actually like good for you.
No. Running is terrible for you at that pace.
Well, yeah, but he wants to be the
And
best.
lifting and even swimming that far is, you know,
Yeah, it's exhausting to the
It's
human
terrible.
body.
your
Like,
knees
you,
and
you have to repair after that.
oh yeah.
But
Have you? There's a TV show. It's on the History Channel about like the strongest people in the world.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Have you heard? Have you not seen it?
like the guy who pulled an airplane with his teeth.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Strongest men. History Channel. They're crazy. Oh wait, that's misspelled. History Channel. Okay, let's see. The strongest man in history. Okay, let's see. Let's get some crazy stuff they did. Images. Yeah, they like lifted pianos and like would carry them.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, which is insane. Let's see.
They'll push like trucks.
Yeah, and then they would go out and eat like 5,000 calories in one meal.
Yeah, like you have to.
Yeah.
Like the people that go to Antarctica and you know, hike and all that business for whatever
Mhm.
reason they do, they have to consume in excess of
Oh yeah.
probably 3,000-4,000 calories daily, or they have some real trouble.
I once counted my calorie count on a day, and back last year I didn't mean to do this, but I ate 6,000 calories in a day, and didn't even notice it. A meal from Penn Station was 2,000 calories.
What did you get?
I got in the morning I had Chick-fil-A because I was really hungry that morning. I was like, I'm gonna eat Chick-fil-A. The lemonade was like 200 calories, something crazy, and then the chicken was like 500 or something.
Yeah.
And then the Penn Station was like 1,800. I had eaten 2 things of what's that? Chicken pot pie.
Oh yeah.
I ate so much food. I ate another thing of Chick-fil-A that I got in the morning for lunch.
That's insane.
It was insane, and I used to be able to eat like that all the time. But what's even crazier is like I was talking about earlier, the food eating challenges on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
that's pushing the limits of the human body as well. So like Matt Stoney. Have you heard of Matt Stoney?
I don't think so.
Gosh, Matt Stoney. I'm gonna look up craziest challenges just because he's done some crazy stuff. He ate, see here, he ate 20,455 calories, and I think he did that in an hour. It's crazy.
Good God.
14-pound Big Mac, 1,600 French fries. He tried to eat 2 pounds of Pop Rocks and he failed because it literally tore his mouth up. 16,000 calories of donuts. That's insane.
I mean, have you seen like Michael Phelps? I mean, he has a 20,000 calorie diet every day.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if he ate it all in an hour. It's crazy. And look at this guy. He's 5'7" and maybe 145 pounds. Gets second in the Nathan's hot dog contest all the time. He's gotten first once. He beat Jaws one time. Who's this guy? Jaws is like the best at stuffing hot dogs in his mouth. I think he did 70 in 10 minutes.
You want to hear something crazier?
What?
On the other side? Yeah, you can eat a lot, but how little can you eat? So there's this guy, right? He was like 15 years old, somewhere in India, probably a monk.
All these monks.
This kid went 11 months without eating food.
11 months.
11.
Where did he get like his nutrition from?
11 months. You know, there's alleged claims that people have gone like 380 some days without food, and that they lose like 400 some pounds, like these really overweight people. Because I guess that's kind of cheating, but still, you're not getting any new nutrition in your body. You're literally just burning glucose that's already in you.
Yeah.
For 380 days, like.
I think the most I'd ever heard of was like a group of POWs, I think, that were held and just not fed for several months and somehow survived.
That's crazy.
I think what's crazier than not eating is not drinking.
That is absurd. I don't even want to try that.
That would be terrible. Nothing to drink. Because you could survive 20 some days without food. Like that, the average human could around. I think it was like 20 without anything to drink. I think it's 2 days.
Yeah, it's usually 2 or 3 days, I think, is what I've heard.
Who would try to push that? Who in their right mind would?
Because think about it. We drink things like it's nothing, but if you didn't have anything to drink, that would be terrible. I mean, not having access to a liquid. Gosh. That's what makes the desert all that more terrifying to us. You know, not having anything to drink. Oh, gosh. And even like let's see.
Jesus Christ.
What is it?
What is it?
Andreas Mihavics, an 18-year-old Austrian man, survived 18 days without water. Police left him in a holding cell, forgot about him.
Oh my God.
18 days. You know how long we could last without water?
Not
Probably 3 days.
Yeah.
We'd die in 3 days.
Yes. Our bodies are conditioned to drink water every day.
This guy lasted 6 times that.
That's like this guy was in a shipwreck off the coast of Eastern Africa.
Ah, yeah, the guy who was down at the bottom of the ocean.
He was at the bottom of the ocean, 100 feet below, and he had about 6 square feet of space. All he had was a Coke, I think, that he found with his hands.
Cans of Coke.
Yeah.
A mattress.
No light. It's insane. And he survived down there
3 days.
Yeah, and his oxygen was running out as the guy was knocking, as they were looking for survivors. The only survivor.
Imagine how strenuous that was, because you know this guy who was down there heard his crew members, like his mates, being devoured by sharks.
Yes. In the dark.
He is lucky, because you know how he got in that room? The door was open.
Yep.
You know,
And he had
sharks
to take
got to his buddies, the doors were
Yep.
open. He is so lucky the sharks didn't find him.
And he had to use the bathroom, so that was the only reason he survived. Because he went to use the bathroom and left.
Yeah.
And then it went down.
That's insane.
That's
man.
ridiculous.
It's crazy. He broke the world record for the longest time spent under that amount of water.
And he wasn't happy about it.
No.
I probably wouldn't be either.
He hasn't gone back on the ocean since.
He won't.
No.
And I think he said he's like regularly haunted by nightmares.
Okay.
But of course, like
Yeah.
if you heard people being eaten by sharks for 3 days straight, you couldn't see anything. Probably
No.
couldn't because that is really close to what a sensory deprivation tank is like.
Just water. Cold water. Oxygen depletion, and you can't. You would have to sleep on something, I guess, while holding your head above.
The mattress was the only thing that kept him from hypothermia.
Imagine if you fell asleep and rolled over into the water and drowned and died. Like it was.
You couldn't sleep.
No.
There's no way.
I doubt he slept.
Yeah, there's just no way.
And how dangerous it was to get him from the bottom to the top as well. Your lungs going from that kind of pressure to.
And even like your
crazy.
eyes, like I don't know how we would have adjusted back to seeing daylight after being stuck for a couple of days in just straight darkness.
Very bright. That I think that might be one of the biggest tests mentally.
Yeah,
that guy.
There's a lot of more mental stuff as well.
Mental stuff's probably equally, if not harder, than the physical stuff. Even though the physical stuff seems more appealing and insane, but the mental stuff.
Yeah, I think it's because the physical stuff is much easier to grasp what's really going on. But
yes,
whenever we look at like the mental capacity of some people, it's like I don't even know how much you are capable of. And I guess a good measure sometimes of that is like productivity. You got these super active people like Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson who just work all the time because that's what they do.
they're machines.
Workaholics alone.
Yeah.
Like we say this term sometimes, but most people that say they're workaholics aren't. There are some people that like compulsively work. Like that's all they do. And that alone is like, yeah, you're insane. You are a beast of a person.
I think the best example of that is probably Steve Jobs. If something went wrong, how pissed he used to get. He worked so hard on that stuff, and then one thing went wrong. Kind of like Elon when his product messed up. He assessed the situation. Sorry. And he wasn't very happy about it, but he kept his composure. Went on. If that would have been Steve Jobs, he would have been pissed. Remember back in the day when the Wi-Fi didn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like one of those guys, but he would get so mad. And then Elon was like, "Oh yeah," but it just baffles me how you go without talking to your kids and just work.
I mean, Steve Jobs at the time, it wasn't even like he was head of the world's largest company or anything. I mean, he was still just trying to make it work.
Yeah. And totally there's an argument to be made that it was all, in the wrong blood because, he did kind of psychologically abuse his family. But it's still amazing what he accomplished.
And that's similar to people who try to do other things like an athlete or these people trying to test themselves in these physical ways or even mental ways. They spend that kind of time on whatever they're doing. Let's say the best the best in every field is usually like that. So like Michael Jordan, for instance, he's probably one of the most famous athletes. He was known as a kid. A lot of those famous basketball players, they would skip like their high school dances. They wouldn't go out with people back in the day in fear of losing, their ability. They would sleep for like 10 hours to try to grow more. They would, wake up these unbelievable times and just play basketball by themselves or do whatever the sport they wanted to do. Like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was playing golf at 2 years old with his dad every day. He could beat me at 5.
Oh, man.
That's insane. He could beat me. I'm 17 at 5. My 7-year-old stepbrother plays Minecraft every day and, probably couldn't pick up a golf club. This guy could beat me at 5 years old.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
But then again, it probably wasn't his choice.
No.
But
He doesn't regret, his,
sure. And then, there's an argument to be made that most people wouldn't make, but I'm going to do it. Just, somebody's going to. It takes one hell of a brain to convince an entire country to take up arms and take over Europe.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
To convince a dominant portion of a country, and I don't mean dominant as in like the majority, he probably didn't, but like the majority of the powerful people were backing this guy. And like, yeah, of course the person we're talking about here is Hitler. Yeah. And no, he's not a good guy.
No. Not at all.
No, but it's amazing that he made so much happen. Clearly he was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way.
He was very good at doing it.
Yes, he was a really good bad guy.
And a college football coach, like a smaller college football coach, got in trouble for saying if he could have dinner with 3 people, Hitler was one of them. But let me tell you, if I could have dinner with 3 people, Hitler would be on there.
Oh, wait, are you talking about like the history professor?
Was he a history professor?
I think he did both.
Was it both? He got in trouble for saying that. If I could have dinner with 3 people, Hitler would be on there. One of the most interesting people, I think, of all time. Craziness. How could you be that intelligent in communicating these ideas and convincing people? It's insane.
And the thing is, like, somebody like Charles Manson, who also got stuff to do horrible things, he used drugs to manipulate people to do stuff. They were open to suggestion by other means, but Hitler just literally used his words to make that stuff happen.
I mean, you could make the same argument with Jim Jones, because he convinced a lot of people, but I mean, it was a lot based on religion.
Yeah, and that's a tool to use. Hitler did utilize that a good bit by comparing Jews to anti-Christian filth or whatever. But Hitler used every toy in the toy box to manipulate the people of Germany, and that is just crazy.
It is. And people like write it off because that you're a bad guy. It's kind of like untalented. It's like they don't assume that they don't put him with some of like the greatest humans, not as in like a good standpoint, but as like powerful and talented in what he is doing. He is. To get people to turn like that in such little time too. I mean,
wasn't generations of people. That wasn't a slow thing.
He flipped the switch pretty quick.
Yeah.
After World War I, he started to go.
He literally stole the entire youth of Germany.
Yeah. Which is insane.
I mean, we've not had something like that, but we've had a similar. I mean, if you look at that time, it was not a good time for Germany. Like, they were going through the Depression as well.
They were vulnerable.
And, it kind of, if you look at America right after 9/11, whenever everyone was kind of rallying together, there's that big sense of America's the best country. I mean, Bush's approval rating.
We got some of that takeover.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loved Bush after that for some reason.
The Patriot Act.
Yeah.
The 9/11 allowed the government to, and I'm not trying to sound like they took our guns, but they used that as an opportunity to kind of take advantage of the American people, and it worked. What?
His approval rating went from 57%, 62%, 57, 51, 90%, and then steady decline after that.
There's a way to play it correctly, and most people that get into the powerful positions of the United States government aren't able to do it. Sometimes they are.
Not at all.
Like Dick Cheney, he worked pretty well, but every time that something negative happens, there's a chance to slip in and increase your own agenda. And Hitler every time hit the mark. There wasn't a moment that he wasn't getting what he wanted.
Yeah.
But
his own arrogance kind of.
Oh yeah, it
Hurt
came back
him.
to bite him.
No, it was syphilis that got him. Yeah.
The same kind of thing's going on with Trump right now. I'd have an argument with. How many people over 60 do you know around? I know West Virginia, but
Well,
like,
yeah, they're displeased with the way that everything's working, so
Because-
they're just open to
Yeah.
whatever he does.
yeah, because they automatically assume that everything's bad.
Yes, we
And
will build a wall.
people
Yes, we
they're
will
not used to.
we will alienate these people. You know, alienation is a powerful tool too.
Mhm.
But whenever you can use alienation to split people apart and without people picking up on it, that's how you do it. You know,
Mhm.
Trump made that happen with, you know, white Americans and, you know,
Yeah.
Mexican immigrants, legal or illegal, I'd say. He alienated the Latin population.
Yep.
Successfully. And, you know, that's something Hitler also did. And I'm not one of these people that's like, yeah, Trump's Hitler.
No, he's not.
He's not.
But
He's a different breed.
he uses those.
He uses a lot of the same tools.
Yeah.
Because, well, he got that from business.
Yeah.
But whenever you, like, Trump, how old is he?
73?
73. Hitler was in his 30s.
Yep.
Whenever he did all this, he didn't go to
Exactly.
business school.
No.
He went to art school.
Yeah.
Nope.
He
He
did try to go to
tried.
art school.
Try.
He was in World War One. I don't think he fought.
He
more
was
of
a
courier.
yeah, he was a courier.
And
But he had no experience in manipulating people. And he'd been abused relentlessly psychologically by
Oh,
his
yeah.
parents. And he still managed to pull that off.
Well,
Like,
Mm.
good.
I don't think his
Good.
mother wasn't really that bad.
He
just,
loved
was
his mother.
Attached.
He was a little too
That's
attached.
a form of abuse, for sure.
and he died. She died when he was 12,
Yeah.
which hurt him psychologically very much. And you know what's something ironic about Trump is the highest county in America for drug overdose deaths is McDowell County, West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Not surprised.
The least amount per capita of drug overdose deaths is at the southernmost county in Texas along the Mexico border. Isn't that ironic? That the southernmost county to the Mexico border in Texas is the least amount of drug overdoses. Just because he blames, every drug in the book from Mexico. I think that's just kind of ironic.
A lot of it comes from the north, man.
Yeah, it does.
And well, a big
Detroit.
problem with us was the pill mills that we used to have, where they would just hand out
Well,
OxyContin.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which was not. I mean, I'm for progressive, drug policy.
Sure, but an important piece of that is drug information.
Yeah,
If you don't know what you're taking, then you're going to get addicted.
they just handed out stuff.
They said, oh, yeah, this will make you feel better.
There was probably one here about 4 minutes from here.
A pill mill?
Yeah, or like where they just handed out, like
Where at?
a doctor gave prescriptions, right down the road, where Snap Fitness is in Barbersville beside Taco Bell.
Oh.
Right in there.
That place.
Yeah, right in that little mini plaza. There used to be one in there. A doctor. Yeah. That's how they used to feel about doctors that prescribe marijuana over in California. They'd be like, doctor, but they actually would like prescribe marijuana. It was the same way, but that here it was just like, oh, here's some OxyContin. Over there it's like, oh, you have some pain, you're allergic. Let's put.
I
give
may
some
have known
marijuana.
that guy.
Did you?
Yeah, I may have known that guy.
Was he a doctor?
Yeah. It seems like something he'd do. Don't get me
I
wrong.
think it was that guy.
I think it was that guy.
Yeah, he would just like, hey, you need a prescription? Yep, looks like OxyContin would fit you pretty well.
All right. Let's steer this away from negativity a little bit. Let's get away from the Hitler and the
OxyContin.
OxyContin drugs, and let's take a step back. All right. So the terms we've been using are like unhuman, superhuman, and all this. But what are these characteristics that we're describing as human that increase to be superhuman or decrease to be, abnormal human? Like, what are these fundamental traits that make us an average human? What do we think when we hear human?
That's a tough question.
Well, yeah, it's not an easy question.
It's not.
Because you can look at just the physical stature of it, but there's a lot more to it than just that. Depending on who you would ask, of course, but I don't think you could just look at being faster or stronger that everyone else would consider you a superhuman.
I don't think. Yeah. What do you think about? Would you consider Wilt a superhuman? Like in.
Probably so.
A guy who's 7'1".
Yeah, because not only was he athletic, but he was abnormal for that time period for someone to be like that.
7'1" and to run 20 miles an hour.
So we're talking this guy's height and his ability to lift, like his capacity for, that sort of thing, and his endurance. That's what we're feeling as far as like humans go physically. These are the traits that.
And the guy claimed to pick up 20,000 women in his day.
Yeah.
Superhuman trait.
There's something about facial symmetry, that the more symmetrical your face is, the better. Like that is one of the top traits of attractiveness, and it's super rare that somebody gets like a perfect 10 face, because you have to have both symmetry and the golden ratio on both sides. You guys know what that is?
Yeah, you talk about that in psychology.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people taking that.
And so, like, my hair is parted, so that's an automatic no. Because, this side. Or is it just pure face?
Face.
I think it's just your face.
So face.
Face.
So.
You don't associate with the hair as much
as
the eyes, the mouth.
Okay. I'd say Owen has the golden ratio and the 10. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's kind of like Private Snyder now. He went in the military.
He's a good-looking guy.
He looks a lot better now.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, the guy's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
He's my superhuman.
He's my superhero.
He's my top 10 superheroes. Number 1.
My hero.
Private Snyder.
But how about more on like the mental side of humanity? Like we see these people that are excelling as far as interpersonal association. Hitler was super charismatic, and we see that like abnormally so. Or somebody like JFK. They just like
that very high.
They bend people.
High EQ, very high EQ. Yeah. Emotional intelligence, being able to express these emotions and make other people feel emotions. It's a very powerful thing. That's why I like a lot of the movies I like. It's the emotions. Same with the music. Emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions play a big role. To be able to bend people's emotions and make them feel a certain way is a powerful thing.
On the other side, this is going to sound bad, but it's there's no way around it. It's going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it anyway. Psychopaths exist with an evolutionary plus.
Yes.
That is an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they don't associate with these emotions like we do. They get to process everything analytically. So they're like, there's a rhyme and a reason to how people think emotionally. Humanly. That human aspect gets turned into not just like this special thing that we can't define, but just pure predictability. And it's crazy how controlling they can be, and just from this outside. It's like, whenever we have a conversation here, sometimes we'll have like a really earnest conversation and we'll actually get something out of it. If a psychopath was sitting here, he'd just pick up on everything in just an analytic way. Everything is just it's like an algorithm instead of an interpersonal connection. It's crazy. Like Ted Bundy,
Yeah.
people just did whatever he said
Yeah.
because he had that predisposition to use more analysis than just emotion, and it worked. It's a freaky thing, but I'd argue it is a superhuman quality.
And it's great in the business world.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it goes back to like Adam Smith. You know, what was that called? What was this piece called? His economic. Let me look. Gosh, what is that called?
I know what you're talking about.
What was it called? That's gonna kill me all day. But it pretty much what it says is we evaluated it in my freshman history class, and we talked about it talking about don't care about people, care purely about money, and that's how you will succeed. Money and acquiring different things. Big capitalist guy. What was it called? Shoot, why is it not coming up? Was it The Wealth of Nations? That was right. Yeah. The Wealth of Nations.
Yeah.
So it was kind of talking about that, and that kind of reminds me of the psychopath in the business field. You know, you don't care about people. You try to make them feel like they're you know your employees, but care solely on making more, producing more, and making a profit. And you know, care about that. Don't put your people first. Put this business. You can't care about people's feelings, whether it's your consumer or what. You know, it's been a while since I've read it, so I can't really talk. But
clearly Adam Smith had a bit of a less active conscience than most people do, but that indicates that he was probably a psychopath, or at least a sociopath with a much lower functioning conscience.
Being a sociopath is not that big of a deal. 1 in 10 people are sociopaths. Now, how much that, like, to how that affects a person, I guess, would change, but you know, we know sociopaths all around us.
I mean, I think everyone has sociopathic tendencies at some point.
Sure.
You know who's a sociopath? Will Turman.
Think so?
No, I just like to make fun of him because he's my president. My man.
But I think whenever we start stripping these down, there's just a basic frame of just a few things, and that's like mobility, the ability to talk, and just how they look. It's just those 3 things that are the basis of humanity, and you know, it's kind of vain and over restrictive and over simple, but that's what it really comes down to. And I would argue that there are things that are not biologically human that are on the scale of being human. You know, we can't say that human is just a yes or no thing. Biologically, okay. But for our intents, it's more of a scale. Somebody like JFK compared to somebody like I don't want to sound overly offensive. Somebody, let's just say, less functioning. I'm not going to say anything specific or any specific disabilities or anything like that. But on that scale of disabilities, JFK is the more human of them. You know, whenever you have somebody creepy, lanky, certain disabilities, you know, we automatically are like, yeah, that person's less human. I associate with that person less than I do somebody else.
And I mean, it's not something you can really deny. Because, I mean, you know about Karol Stroiken? Is that his name?
Yeah.
mean, every movie that he's a really famous actor, but every movie he's been in, he plays some sort of monster, pretty much.
He every time it's abnormal. You know, he plays something that's a little unhuman. So clearly there is a scale, and we're gonna start seeing at some point stuff that's not biologically human popping up on the scale. You know, we're gonna see robots, or, you know, I'm not gonna say androids. That's silly. But, well, as of right now, that's silly. Maybe like one day in the very far future, okay, androids, sure. But this scale of humanity is like, if there are humans among us that don't have a conscience, then these robots, which are wholly analytic, just like the psychopaths, they're pretty close on the scale of humanity. You know, there are humans that don't look human. There are robots that look human. There are humans that don't think like other humans, and there are robots that do think like, you know, a little bit closer. It's just weird because, yeah, what humanity is scientifically, analytically, is a biological thing. But whenever you ask the average person, like, what is this? Is this human? You know, we associate more with like dolphins and whales than we would something like a cricket.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they're placed somewhere on that scale of, you know, sentience and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird.
It's crazy how chimps have become so human-like. You know, I mean,
They sign, don't
learning
they?
sign language. Did you know that the memory of a chimp, like a short-term memory, is much better in a chimp than it is a human? There's reasons for this, evolutionary reasons. So they would flash a screen for about 3 seconds with numbers in each position. In about 2 or 3 seconds, they'll know 10 digits. They'll put them in exact order. A human can never do that. It would take like 20 seconds. Okay, this one's here. Okay, the two, you know. And the reason for this is because back a long time ago, humans were, you know, they were walking around. They would be in tribes and on land. They wouldn't be up in the trees. They would, you know, move a lot, and they wouldn't be in the trees. Now the chimps were mostly in the trees, and they would have to spot their prey and memorize it. And that's where like some of the crazy differences between the two, and the more, you know, higher up the chimps are. But they have some of these traits that are becoming more human-like. That's so odd, like learning sign languages and doing basic math. I think.
Yeah,
it's
they
crazy
can solve puzzles
stuff.
too.
Yeah, puzzles. Thinking that you would, thinking higher than maybe a young child.
Yeah, and there's this crazy thing. You know, whenever we think of something that's closer to a human, intellectually and as far as being sentient goes, we think mammals, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're automatically like primates, dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
Whales. But ravens and crows are as intelligent as like 7-year-olds. And they can speak. They can discern what words mean, and they can store them. Like, they have a vocabulary. It's not like a parakeet that repeats whatever you say. They have a vocabulary.
They know rather than just like repeat things. So they actually store information. It's pretty impressive.
And they don't repeat much because they evaluate the consequences of that. They're really careful to pick up on words, but once that you get a raven or a crow to really pick up on a word, they'll use it all the time. And they'll use it against you if they want something. It's insane.
It is insane.
And you know, that's a bird that's hardly related to a human, but they still have like these things they do that are similar to humans. It's crazy.
And something I just thought of. You know what's weird about young children that turn out to be, you know, these crazy intellectual powerhouses like Einstein didn't speak till he was like 4 or 5. And I kind of have an experience with that. Not saying that I'm an intellectual genius, but I used to sign instead, because I learned sign language and just decided to like stop speaking and I would use sign, and they thought I was gonna be a little bit like and like be kind of stupid and like not have to put me in certain classes and stuff when I was really little. Turns out I'm who I am today. It's kind of weird, like little kids, they seem one way and they seem not very intelligent, and then they'll grow up and be pretty intelligent people, or vice versa. And it's kind of weird how they develop in that way. And maybe it's because they don't understand that they're wanting to maybe learn in a certain way or do something, because it's more comfortable to them, just like the crow. I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Chimpanzees also push the superhuman boundaries in the physical direction. It's crazy? Every time a chimp uses a muscle, they use every muscle.
Really?
It's crazy.
Gosh.
Like a chimpanzee can pull you up into like a treehouse. Easily.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Using every muscle that would have to tire them very quickly. I mean, maybe not.
They eat a lot.
Well, and they probably
have a lot of
develop over
energy.
time.
Yeah.
But there's just so much power. They are so powerful.
They are very powerful animals. Gorillas, gorillas, chimps, orangutans. There's some strong, flippant creatures. We were talking about strong people. Imagine a freaking gorilla. Just pecs. Like, it's legit like an animal if it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hang on.
Like,
look up a furless chimp and just look at it. Look through some of those pictures.
Holy crap. The muscles on that thing.
You never would think that they
thing
look
could
like that.
kill you
Oh, yeah.
easily.
It's like an old albino looking, like muscular dude. Gosh, that guy's got a... I was not expecting that. It's like a huge dude with like, excuse me, but balls like freaking huge. Gosh, it's so odd looking. It's like a belly and then just freaking muscle.
Yeah, it's chimpanzees are insane, man.
Gosh, looks like a demon.
There's a good chance they're going to keep getting smarter. The reason they're not is because there's no like advantage to them being smarter right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there probably will be at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's gonna be crazy, man. These chimps are gonna be like, I don't even know.
We keep teaching them as well, so.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the teeth, man. Oh. Whew. It's like why we have canines.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have canines.
Okay. So, if you've seen past shows, we've done what ifs in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be a little bit of an adapted what if question. We all have the same question, but our answers are all going to be quite different. We're going to spend some time evaluating that and looking into them. Since we've been talking about the Ubermensch, the Superman, quite a bit, we're going to talk about some actual superpowers, not anything realistic, probably. Blower might put he'd like to run moderately fast, I don't know. But hopefully these are like, the more comic booky type superpowers. So let's start with our guest, Owen.
All right.
If you had a superpower, what would it be and why? What would you use it to do?
I'm going to have to go with shapeshifting, only because it would provide you with you can do anything, really. I mean, it's
Do you mean shapeshifting also like between members of the same species?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. So like you could do pretty much whatever you want if you had that ability.
But like, how would you help using that? Like, what's the hero part?
Well, you could turn into Wilt Chamberlain and like kill a guy.
Well,
and then you could-
that's one thing. I mean, would you have the ability of whatever it is he turned into?
Well, there's probably not anybody else's superpowers, but it's your call.
You could turn into like a silverback gorilla and just freaking destroy, and then
Exactly.
and a bird and fly away,
A
or
blue whale.
a blue whale, just out of nowhere. Just go to like if you're like, man, I hate this place. Blue whale, and like just destroy something.
That doesn't
and be
seem like a very heroic act. God, I hate this place.
I hate the DMV. It's like blue whale time. What if you couldn't control it either?
Oh, dude,
I
that
don't
wouldn't
think
be a
that'd be good.
superpower.
Yeah.
That'd just suck.
Just sporadic, just like.
You die.
What if you shapeshifted to Will Turman?
I will use my power as the president of the Cal Midland student body to do nothing.
He would argue that he's done a lot for this country.
Uh-huh.
Not the school of this country.
Yeah. So, like, whenever you put shapeshifting down, like, what exactly did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, if you're going down the road of being like a superhero and doing good things, I mean, it's hard to think of a situation where you would need a superhero. But, I mean, like, if you think about all the others, most of them have characteristics of animals. So if you could transform directly into an animal, I don't see why you wouldn't have an advantage.
So, like, if there was somebody being, like, assaulted in, like, an alleyway, you'd be like, hang on, I'll help. And you, like, shapeshift into, like, Wilt Chamberlain. And you just destroy them.
Yeah.
It's also a good disguise, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you could, like, really mess up your face to make something that's, like, never existed before.
You just like change to Jeff Bezos. I would like to take out about $3 billion.
But that's not heroic.
No, it's not. But
That's
I'm gonna
just-
give it to the people in China, who are suffering from what is it?
Coronavirus?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something to the people of the Chinese people. 你好, zon goa rin kung bio si coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Hello, Chinese people. Please don't die of coronavirus.
How polite, Jeff Bezos.
你好.
Okay. I
Okay.
can get behind shapeshifting. You know,
Yeah.
more access to places. You can fly. You can, like, scour the streets at night as, like, a pigeon and be like, hey, that doesn't look right.
Yeah,
And
and if you're
shut that operation down.
and if you're failing like a test and you're just like,
Oh, man.
yeah,
also,
Einstein.
You could... It'd be kind of risky, but you could be like a fly, and you could go pick up on, like, government surveillance
Yeah.
and be a whistleblower. You know, be like a soft-spoken shapeshifter.
A bird.
Well, birds
Yeah,
don't
bird
go in
can't
rooms.
get into the White House.
You go to, like, the White House and be like, this sounds really suspicious. And then, like, it would be tough, but you could somehow get a
Well,
wire.
yeah, no one would believe you.
You could get a wire to record it. It'd be
You could
weird.
probably pull it off somehow.
Yeah. So say you fly in to the Oval Office at night as a fly. Quickly shapeshift to, like, a spider monkey. You know, something with opposable thumbs that moves very quickly and is discreet. Put a wire in there, connect it back to some other place.
What if you take on the characteristics of that animal? Would you take on
The intellectual characteristics.
yeah, and also their lifespan? Flies only live to 2 to 3 days.
Well, you better hurry up and
You
stop
better
being a fly.
hurry, and you better remember what you're doing, because
But intellectual wise, I don't think you'd be able to, because there's some things that, like, maybe wouldn't understand the concept of shapeshifting and you'd just be stuck.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's just like if you could stop time and you stop time and like you stopped as well. You're trying to like push the button and you can't do it.
See, I do like that power, but it wouldn't be very practical
No.
helping other people.
Everything you do with stopping time would be terrible.
Well, no, not necessarily. It would just be directly involved to yourself.
Yeah,
Like
if
you,
we're
you'll
being
learn to play an instrument very well.
if we're being honest, most people would be like, dude would do terrible things.
Yeah, sure.
Sometime.
Be like, I'll go rob a bank, get a laptop.
Women.
I
Most
didn't
guys
wa- I
would
didn't
say.
wanna, I didn't want to say.
Most
that
guys
word.
would say, do terrible things.
So wait,
If we're being honest.
does that make Adam Sandler's character from Click a superhero?
No.
I need to watch that movie.
You don't need to watch Click.
Is it better than Happy Gilmore? That's his best movie.
No, you don't need to watch Click.
Should I go ahead and say my superpower?
Go ahead.
I might go with the super speed. That'd be kind of sweet.
I predicted it.
You
You
call
could
it.
do a lot of stuff with super speed, man.
Now, how fast are you talking? Like flash speed?
Like, yeah, Flash.
Like in excess of light speed?
yeah. That'd be kind of sweet. You'd be like, you could pick up some mad chicks. You could become a professional runner. You could, pretty much teleport because you're running so fast. If you forgot your homework, you can, and then you're right back.
But you still can't leave
You
the
want to
school.
travel anywhere?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You go fast enough that your particles travel through a wall.
And then if you want to go like travel to China real quick or North Korea, it's
You go
fine.
cure coronavirus.
Yeah.
Actually, you could drop like any sickness stat.
Yeah.
You just leave it in the wind.
What if you like put your cells into the person and like charge them
but what
up
happens
super
if you
quick
get,
and
like,
kill
what
them
happens
all?
if you get like a pacemaker? Like you're done. It's game
Yeah.
over.
Go. Or what if you like, I don't know. What if you stopped moving super fast in like the middle of like a rock or a solid object?
Or like if you break your
And you're
leg,
just like, yeah, what would happen if you were moving so fast that you stopped in the object?
you'd be stuck there.
Your matter, matter cannot just like. You can't have double matter.
They can. There's a lot of open space. It would just be a more dense rock with some extra carbon.
And then you would be dead pretty quick.
Yeah. Sounds like a you problem.
You forget to run fast. Oh. Either that or maybe like, I don't know. Like breathe fire. I mean, it's pretty basic, but that'd be pretty sweet.
That'd suck, man.
That would kind of suck, but that'd be kind of sweet. I don't know. Or lightning. The force.
Yeah, force would be good.
Force would be cool. Into like, well, I don't know. I wouldn't be that smart. I don't know.
But I don't want to use that one. It's kind of OP.
That's kind of like I think Magnus Carlsen has superpowers. Have you seen Magnus Carlsen
No.
play 10 Grandmasters backwards without touching the board? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just going pawn to f7. Next game, pawn, and he played them simultaneously. That's super. That's something we probably should have talked about during the other
Yeah,
one.
it's crazy.
That's a superpower right there. At 30 years old, just being able to go, this to that, this to that. It's crazy.
Whenever I think about stuff like that, though, I don't want to be like that.
No, that would kind of suck. Other than chess,
I don't want to be like Rain Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that superb. I don't want to be a human calculator.
No.
That doesn't seem. I don't know. It seems like there's always some trade-off.
Well, what about the people that are like just musically talented with no reason to it?
Oh, that's good. That's just like a
Roger
bonus.
Waters.
No, he is not a talented musician.
No, he's just a creator.
He's a very good composer, but his instrumental skills
Oh,
could use
terrible.
a lot of work.
David Gilmour's much better instrumental.
Oh yeah,
But he went to college for music.
did he?
I think.
I went for art,
He art or music, and then Roger went for
architecture.
architecture.
So did Nick and Richard.
Yeah, but I think Sid and David went for art or music, or both.
Okay.
They went to Cambridge.
Well, the super speed may have some downsides, but it could be used for a lot of good stuff. So I'll give you that one.
at least a B tier.
So that's a B tier power at least. Yeah.
So what's yours, Buster?
Mine is I didn't say telepathy because I don't want to manipulate people. I don't want people to bend to my will. But my superpower would be one-way interneural activity. And that I can read people's minds without them picking up on it.
Okay.
But I don't want it to be like I instantly read somebody's mind and everything floods into me. I want
You
it to
can
be,
like pick and choose.
Yeah, I want it to be more like walking down a street. And there's all these houses, you know. It's more of a pick and choose type of thing. Because I don't want to go into like somebody's mind and see all the horrible things. And I probably don't want to go into anybody's mind.
So you basically want like a file cabinet.
Yeah. Like if I have no reason to interact with either of you two people's minds, but if somebody does something extremely morally questionable, I can analyze that and be like, well, they do have a good point. Or I could be like, okay, this is the fault in their reasoning, and this is how I can make them stop. This is how I can convince them to stop. It's just the ultimate diplomatic tool, you know. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to manipulate people. I want to be able to speak well with people and address their reasoning reasonably. And if I need to correct my own thinking, that would allow me to, discreetly, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's just a super minimal secret superpower, but I think it'd be a good one.
I guess we could go right into the top 10 now. Our top 10 tonight is top 10.
Hi, I'm Chase Blower. I speak directly into the microphone.
I am Chase Blower. I speak directly into the microphone. Oh. I don't know how loud that was because I don't have that on. But yeah. So we're getting to the top 10 tonight. I just want to appease Buster with this. I really love talking. Yeah. Thank you.
Our top 10 today is top 10 superheroes. And
Yes.
The rules for this is we all had to kind of agree that they were superheroes. Like, you're not going to see, like, Venom on this list.
New movie sucked.
Well, even if, Venom's not explicitly a superhero. And also, if there was one person who took on the guise of several superheroes, those could be different entries.
Mm-hmm.
If there are multiple people that took on the guise of one superhero, that can also be multiple entries. So, without further ado, let's start off these top 10 lists. What is your number 10 blower?
My number 10 tonight is Black Widow. And I'll tell you why. Not the new one. But after reading today, the Black Widow was associated with Satan to send people to hell. That's pretty sweet. I gotta admit, I'm not a big superhero guy, but a superhero associated with Satan, which doesn't seem very fitting, is pretty sweet.
Man, there are a lot of superheroes associated with Satan.
Really?
Like Ghost Rider.
Oh, yes.
Mephistopheles.
I don't know whatever his name
He's
is.
the devil. Mephistopheles. That's like that's like Marvel's devil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Black Widow's like the cool spy.
I don't like the new one. New one's trash.
It's okay.
I don't know. It's very stereotypical
It
Russian
It
spy.
is.
Super stereotypical.
You know, she's the new movie. I think she's in Russia. It's stereotypical. It's pretty bad. Definitely not the best female, superhero in Marvel. It definitely isn't Captain Marvel either.
No, not at all.
Captain Marvel's trash.
Captain Marvel's OP.
Yeah, she's like Superman. She sucks because she's OP. Neither of those.
Superman's a good character.
Yeah, but he's also OP.
Yeah, Captain. Well, the difference with Superman is almost every Superman story is designed around Superman's weaknesses to show that he's actually not OP. And in addition to kryptonite, his weaknesses are also like his connections with other people. He is such a good person that his loved ones and people he doesn't even know get leveraged against him as his weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So he's borderline not OP at all, but Captain Marvel, especially in the MCU. Totally, yeah.
And I think it makes it worse how they try to make these female characters better. When people don't try to make great female characters, it usually works better than when you're trying as hard as you can. I don't think they were trying to make Princess Leia this crazy, awesome, badass, but she ended up being probably my favorite female character, from any movie series. And I don't think she intended to be like that. I think she was intended to be the beautiful princess, but she's pretty badass.
Sure, and you also have your Ellen Ripleys from Alien, and your just
It's not like they were forcing it, but now with the SJW type stuff, forcing, those female characters, it's not the same.
Forcing any character doesn't work.
No.
The idea behind a good character is that it could be any identity of any race or gender, and you're gonna have the same result.
Yeah,
that's how those characters were.
Yeah, and it's the same for race and sexual orientation,
religion. Like you have like good religious superheroes like Daredevil.
Yeah,
very Catholic.
Yeah, and it's fine for these superheroes to be different. Just don't try to make the whole story based on their differences. Make it make a cool character with a good story, and not based off just because that they're gay makes them different. No, talk about
like Black Panther. Black Panther, when he first came out, he was like the first major black superhero. Yeah. But his character didn't revolve around that.
No. That's not what made him special.
Okay, Owen. You're number 10.
My number 10 is Daredevil.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's got a really cool origin story, and I don't know, I like that he's not really working at full capacity, but he still is by all means a superhero.
And something I really like about Daredevil is that there's tons of like underlying. It seems like the world he lives in is super negative, but he's got like this underlying hope about him. Like he's got like a faith in the human race that like, yeah, he's like a dark and edgy superhero, but it's all taken with tons of hope. He's kind of got that Spider-Man thing, except it's a lot. The world he lives in is much darker than that Spider-Man lives in, and I think that's cool. He's like, even though he's devil symbolism, he's like a gleaming beacon of light and hope in this dark world that he lives in. It's cool. I like Daredevil.
What's your 10?
My number 10 is Moon Knight. Yeah, he's kind of a ripoff of Batman. He's kind of the more of a ripoff of Batman. But the cool thing is that I guess he's probably a C-list superhero. The writers get to do more interesting things the lower the character is, because they get to take more chances because nobody's looking at it to be that character. You don't get to take too many chances with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
People expect Batman to be just like that. But Moon Knight can be changed all the time. He's got like these awesome multiple personalities, and there's this strange underlying relationship he has with an outer entity, and you never sometimes that entity is actually an entity, sometimes it's part of his imagination because he's just insane. But Moon Knight is just so cool, man. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. I think I don't want him to have anything to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't even want more exposure in any sort of film media. It's just I'd like the comic books to get a little more recognition than they do, because they're cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
They are cool.
Try to get this little piece out. There we go. Okay, so my number 9 is Shazam, and it's mostly for the reason that Buster told me the story about Captain Marvel and Shazam before the show, and I'm not a big superhero guy, like I said earlier. But the fact that Marvel just straight up stole Captain Marvel from DC.
Well, no, Shazam belonged to Marvel.
No.
Yeah, they sold the rights to Shazam to DC.
No. I'll tell you what happened.
Are you sure?
Captain Marvel, guy with a red suit,
Yeah, it was a
Yellow
guy
lightning
originally.
No. Captain Marvel, a guy with a red suit and a lightning bolt on his chest. He's a kid that turns into a superhero. That's Captain Marvel. He's been around for years and years. DC didn't copyright the name of Captain Marvel. Whenever he would turn into Captain Marvel by saying Shazam. Marvel comes along a couple years ago. Hey, I see you're using the name Captain Marvel. Yeah, we copyrighted it. You can't have it anymore.
Oh, that's kinda
DC
stupid.
was forced to change that superhero's name from Captain Marvel to Shazam.
And Marvel has a history of stealing and copying
Yeah,
from DC.
but that's the tragedy of Captain Marvel.
But that's pretty cool story. Shows you that DC is obviously better than Marvel. Even though there's more Marvel characters on this list, there may only be 1 or 2 DC characters on this list. But I have enjoyed. I think my favorite superhero.
I'm gonna
movie
say
is
that's
DC.
probably because you've had more exposure to the movies.
Yeah.
And the
DC
not
movies
the-
suck.
usually
They're awful.
They're usually terrible.
Yeah, but Dark Knight trilogy.
I will say Netflix does a good job though with a lot of DC characters.
Netflix,
Hmm.
like
The Flash.
Well,
I'm not a big fan
Green
of the
Arrow.
Flash.
A lot of people like Green Arrow.
It's just too cliche.
yeah, it's kind of
It's better than the movies.
Yeah,
The newer movies.
but
The Batman movies, dude.
man, 1989 Batman. Holy
Dude,
crap,
good stuff.
man.
Got to go
Good
back even
stuff.
further.
Like 1960, what was that? 66.
Yeah.
Dude, 1989 Batman might be my it's
I mean,
probably my
what-
second favorite Batman movie, but that movie's great. Dark Knight's probably my favorite, but Dark Knight's amazing too. They're
One of
both
my,
so good.
Did you guys ever watch Super Friends? It was like the old Justice League, but it was a TV show.
I never actually watched it. No.
Oh, it was so good. It was awesome.
Hey, what about Batman and Robin?
No,
movie.
I don't.
Remember
know.
when Robin was that the movie where Robin kissed Ivy or whatever her name is?
Poison Ivy?
Poison Ivy, and he had like the thing on his lips, and he was like, "Gotcha." He pulled him off.
Yep.
Yep.
It's also the movie with bat nipples.
Great
The
writing. Great
the
writing.
The bat credit card.
Dude, that's some amazing writing right there. Great writers, great director. Awesome movie. Batman and
It's
Robin.
also the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
That is my number 1 movie, guys. Thanks for watching The Basement. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Okay. Okay, Owen, how about your number 9?
My number 9 is Batman. I don't
Wow.
I don't necessarily love them
Throwing shade.
or much, but I think they're I think he's important at least.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not necessarily a big superhero fan in general, but I know he's a decently, like, I don't know. If I had to pick, he would definitely be on my top 10.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll talk more about Batman later, I'm sure.
Oh, we will.
My number 9 is Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. This is basically like, what if you took Superman, made him God, and then God was a superhero that didn't really care about humanity and was really sad all the time and depressed, and then he left.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Like, with any of the characters in Watchmen, you could be like, yeah, they're not really a superhero. But Dr. Manhattan's still on here because he's just such an interesting character. Because, he's the most intelligent person on Earth. He can be anywhere multiple times at once. Like, multiple instances of him doing multiple things all at the same time.
What universe is he from?
Hey, we can hear that. Anyhow, technically DC. At first, Watchmen was a DC comic that wasn't really part of the DC universe.
So,
But now, in the DC Rebirth event, he is actually... What are you doing?
I have a new superpower.
Am I going to have to...
Cookies.
Oh my god, it's so noisy.
so is it like
But now it's Dr. Manhattan is a main player in the DC Rebirth event. Dr. Manhattan is actually a major character in the DC universe now.
Was it explicitly said that he was like the smartest?
He is.
Because I thought that was like Brainiac through the DC universe.
It's Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan is literally God. Like there is a chapter in Watchmen where he goes to Mars because he's depressed, and he just creates so much stuff. Like he creates like a civilization without living things. Quit standing in front of the heater and go sit down. Are you like 3? Are you like my cat?
I'm trying to get some freaking warm air. It's cold. I took my sweatshirt off. Dude, we can make a freaking superhero franchise.
I need you to just hold your horses, okay?
Oh.
What?
No, never mind. We'll get to it later, I'm sure.
Okay.
Noisy Man and Wilt Chamberlain and the Noisy Man.
Anyhow, if you haven't read Watchmen, it's probably my favorite book, just in general. Just my favorite book of any book. You got to read Watchmen. And Dr. Manhattan's a great character. Whether he's a superhero or not is debatable, but he did some superhero stuff, and now they're actually using him like a superhero. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but he's a superhero. I like him. He's number 9 on my list. Laura, what is your number 8?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Just all of them?
They're pretty freaking sweet. I mean, they
are
live,
superheroes.
They live
sure.
down in the sewers with a rat, a very wise rat, who teaches them the ways, you know. And there's this dude with like hockey sticks, and he's in there somehow. And I used to watch this as a kid, and it was like so because as a kid, that's how I saw it. Like,
Are you talking about the movie?
yeah, like you know, in the movie, they had the dude with the sticks.
What is that guy's name?
I don't remember. Dude, they were sweet. You know, they have the little,
cool.
the different colors, and you collected the toys at McDonald's. Remember that?
That's why they're on your list. The toys
What?
at
It's the
McDonald's.
memories, you know.
Oh, okay, not because they're actually good. It's just the memories.
Oh no, dude! If Shazam went against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shazam would probably win.
I don't know. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles overcome some.
Yeah. I think they're just supposed to be underdogs in like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Well, they live with a rat in the sewer.
Well, dude, like imagine like Thor versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nah, Thor wins. 100%.
Endgame Thor?
Ninja Turtles.
Huh?
Endgame Thor?
Oh yeah. Endgame Thor is so powerful.
End of Endgame.
Yeah.
Start of Endgame, he's fat, depressed, played Fortnite.
I mean that one.
Dude, that was
I don't know.
cringe Thor. Like, oh, I will come down to your basement, and I will kill you, 6'9", 420, gamer guy, whatever he said. It was cringe.
Okay. Anyway, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like them.
That's
a good
bit.
pick. It's a good pick. Got a good dynamic going on. Owen,
My number 8 is Robin.
which Robin?
Like Boy Wonder.
Gotcha. There's like.
I know.
there's like
I
5
don't
of
know
them.
all the different characters. I'm just going with the whole entity of Robin.
Okay.
I like Robin in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Batman.
And
Okay. Which one?
The one, gosh, what's it called?
Because, I mean, one of my favorite, the one that I'm probably most acquainted with was the one from Teen Titans, like the original series.
Oh, okay.
But I like him in the animated movies too.
Yeah, Batman the animated series.
Okay. That's mostly Dick Grayson Batman, I think.
Yeah, Dick
Yeah,
Grayson.
with Mark Hamill Joker, right? Was Mark
Yeah.
Hamill Joker? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
a
feel like,
great series.
It
man.
is.
I feel like he's just kind of underrated. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
like
He's great.
yeah, he
Actually,
belongs in the Batman
hold that.
series more
I'll-
than
I'll-
Batman does.
I'll get to that later. My number 8 is Spider-Man.
Okay.
Spider-Man is a good hero, not because of like the powers and the web slinging person. He does have a hell of a personality for sure. Got one of the most iconic personalities in the superhero world: DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, Image, whatever. But he brings a special like element of humanity, unlike other superheroes. Like Superman brings like this great sense of society to the story, like this grand scale. But Spider-Man brings like a strong every Spider-Man story has like strong interpersonal connections all the time. Like Spider-Man like convinces Daredevil to hang up the hood and be like, I wanted somebody to tell me whenever I would be done, so I'm going to do this for you. You need to stop. Like, you're done. You're getting tired, and it's time to be done. You've done your job now. It's just it's such a sweet, honest character. I really like Spider-Man.
Well, you go ahead.
I'm gonna say I think Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen.
I have not seen Into the Spider-Verse.
It's fantastic, and I mean it really shows like just how versatile the character was when it came to writing him. Because I mean you've got all
the
these
different Spider.
Yeah, there's all these different kinds.
Sure.
What's the best Spider-Man movie?
Into the Spider-Verse.
My favorite Spider-Man movie is probably the first Spider-Man by Sam Raimi, because the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, yeah, he's a nerd, but he's just so human.
I like him until the dance scene.
That's the third one.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
The third movie is really rough, but the first and second Spider-Man movies by Sam Raimi, both really good. Mm-hmm. And those movies are super cheesy. Don't get me wrong; they're really goofy. But Sam Raimi nails the interpersonal interactions between but you can feel that Peter Parker and Norman Osborn have like a strong relationship, almost like father to son, but it's like corrupted, and it's just so sad.
What do you think?
Spider-Man is such a good character.
I think 2 takes the case for me. I think 2 might be the best for me. It's a good movie.
What do you think about J. Jonah Jameson?
What about him?
Just as a character, do you like him?
Yeah, a whole lot. Like sometimes you'll see that he has integrity by like defending Spider-Man, even though all he does is talk trash about him. I don't know. It's just he knows he needs to protect the identity of him and stuff.
Yeah, like there's some scene through the comic books where he's getting like threatened, and someone's asking him like who takes all those pictures of Spider-Man, and he won't say who it is.
Right. Spider-Man's a good character, and he lives in a good universe, he's got his own good comic book world beyond just the Marvel world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about your number 7?
Daredevil.
Okay.
I think it's pretty sweet that he, can't see and he still fights all these people. It's just kind of a cool idea. Someone with a disability being able to, still kick some ass. So I don't know. It's always been kind of cool to me.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a cool guy.
Superhero.
He's a good guy, and like you said, in a very negative environment, being able to,
Yeah, like the Matt Murdock character, which is Daredevil's actual identity.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like doing lawyer stuff, it's like, damn, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and that's nothing. The lawyer side.
He defends people that deserve it. He's a good hero.
He is.
He's a hero in both under the mask and without the mask.
He's like Harvey Dent and
Harvey Dent is not necessarily the good guy.
No, but he was until
he was at a point
in like the Dark Knight Joker returned
until Maroni threw some acid on his face.
Yep. But like the Dark Knight, he was a good dude.
Well, that's the point.
And then
he
he's
was
corrupted.
the best dude.
Yeah.
And he got corrupted.
Yep. And that's
Gotham
what's
was
so
too
sad.
much.
And that's why Dark Knight is my favorite movie, just because the Joker and Batman is so great in that movie.
It's easily the best Batman movie.
Oh yeah. And Buster disagrees.
Most modern. The best modern movie.
I think it's better than Batman 1989.
No, man. Batman. Okay, critically, easily The Dark Knight's better.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a better crafted. It's Christopher Nolan, for God's sake. But Batman 1989 is dripping with so much personality, man.
It is.
It's that gothic atmosphere, man. Nothing beats it for me.
The Heath Ledger Joker, though, is something that I think is just beautiful.
Heath Ledger is my third favorite Joker.
Who is your first Jack Nicholson?
No.
Is it Caesar?
No.
Caesar.
Yeah, he was the original guy.
Caesar Milan?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's Caesar Milan is the dog whisperer. Sorry, no.
Caesar Milan, yeah.
No, my number one Joker is probably... It's tough. It's a fight between Mark Hamill and Joaquin Phoenix.
See, Heath Ledger was so into the role.
Yeah.
It killed him.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't think it's...
that.
I don't think it's fair to say he's a good Joker because of outside of the movie.
No, he was a good Joker.
He was a very good Joker. Yeah.
But he got so into the role that he died is just, it's crazy. It just says how much, he was trying to be a great Joker, and I think he really
I think
pulled him up. And the writing and where he is in the story, where he fits in, it's just I don't know, it just always seemed perfect. I don't know.
And I mean, I'll say
like a perfect fit for that Batman.
I think my favorite is Joaquin Phoenix, but I think it's mainly because it's a movie about the Joker. Like if.
Yeah, well, the thing, The Dark Knight Rises was gonna have Joker in it,
and it didn't get to.
He was dead.
Which is sad.
Yeah, like they were gonna have him like captured, and he was gonna be a major player again, but he died.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely the weak link, I think, of the trilogy. My opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%. Batman Begins has like Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul is both super powerful.
I wish they push Scarecrow a little bit more, though.
No, it wasn't
don't
necessary.
know.
He was like the sinister undertone of the movie.
But I do like how Scarecrow stays consistent through the 3 movies.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm
happy
cool.
that he shows up through all of them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. And Bane. I feel like Bane
was good until he turned out to be a thug.
Yeah. It was just. That last movie is definitely the weakest.
Yeah. Okay. Who's up now?
I am.
Oh.
My number 7 is Adam Warlock.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
There's not much about him unless you really read the comics, but he was one of the only wielders of the Infinity Gauntlet, which in itself I think is pretty cool. I'm excited though because he's supposed to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That'll be cool. It'll add a little bit to the cosmic.
What I don't like is that it's using the the corrupted version
of Adam Warlock. They'll
Yeah.
probably fix it. They'll probably.
Well, I mean, he is bad at one point in the comics,
Yeah,
but
they'll bring him back.
yeah, I hope there's
it's the MCU.
Yeah.
Like they don't just leave bad guys bad. Loki, they didn't. Scarlet Witch, they didn't. Yeah, he'll be a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 7 is Superman. We've already discussed him a little bit, but he's another one of those shining beacons of hope throughout his whole span and career, except for the New 52 when he got a little edgy. But hey, man, that's okay. It happens to the best of us. Superman, and my personal favorite rendition of Superman, easily, is the Christopher Reeve Superman from the 70s movie.
Yeah, definitely.
He's such a sweet, honest character, and all he wants to do is help people. And you can see that he's so vulnerable that in his desire to help people that his biggest weakness in that movie isn't kryptonite. It's his attachment to needing to save everybody. It's great, man. Superman's just such a sweet character.
Mm-hmm. And I think new Superman is probably. It's so trash.
Like the Henry Cavill
It's
Superman.
just all the movie ideas have taken a turn. Like Man of Steel was not all that great, and then Batman versus Superman.
Doo-doo.
I don't know what.
Absolute trash.
I don't even know why that was thought of.
Money.
Yeah, it made
Batman
a ton.
versus Superman. Yes.
In all honesty, Superman should have won.
No.
You don't think so?
No. But the battle should have ended differently than that.
Well, I'm just thinking from if you were to just look at a lineup of their abilities, Superman should have won within a couple seconds.
But the reason Batman is so good is because he doesn't actually have any weaknesses.
And in the movie, didn't he have kryptonite and put in his suit or something?
He always does. He always carries kryptonite. But the best portrayal of a Batman versus Superman fight is The Dark Knight Returns. Easily. It's the most realistic. They both bring their all to the fight. And in the end, Batman doesn't... He wins, but he doesn't finish the fight. He shows Superman that he can win. And then he fakes a heart attack and dies in order to fake his death. But Batman could win a fight against Superman. He doesn't mean he has to, doesn't mean he ever will. But he could. That was pretty much what it said. It's like, gotcha, okay. Yeah. But I will agree with you guys both that, especially in Batman v Superman, I think Superman could have won. those are not the correct versions of this characters. Those are warped crap characters.
Oh yeah.
Some of the worst of each.
But it's whatever. We're moving on to bigger and better things.
Hopefully.
Okay.
They did say that they started, the new Batman movie.
Yep, with Robert Pattinson.
Hopefully it's great.
Patterson.
Is Joaquin Phoenix going to be
Hope not.
associated with
Hope
it?
not.
Probably will, but
Probably won't be.
You don't think?
Oh, I highly doubt it. Because I mean, Joker's supposed to be standalone. It's not supposed to go with.
They're gonna make a second one.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I think the second one's still gonna be. It's not gonna be a superhero movie.
Oh no, not at all.
You know-
I think it's going to continue on in the story, but I think it's going to be him again.
I feel like a Joker 2 with Joaquin would be worse than...
No, it wouldn't.
I don't know.
I think it'd be
hate
good.
There's so much more to explore in that character.
I hate the thought of a Joker 2. I don't
No,
know.
think about it. We've seen Joker rise in himself. We've seen him overcome his internal struggle. Now wait till you see him overcome an external struggle. You know, like wait.
Yeah, like how does he go from
Like
the
let's see
awful
him rally up everybody at like Arkham Asylum and
Yeah.
get them to to all go nuts.
Because that's one of the coolest things. You still really don't know how that happened.
Yeah, and that could be awesome, man. If they do it right, they could screw it up.
Yeah, if they do it right.
But
then,
Todd
you
Phillips did a great job with the
I
first
trust
one.
him with the second one.
So
know. What if they were like, yeah, we have a big announcement, everyone. Ryan Johnson will direct Joker 2.
that would suck. I'd be like, you've broken my heart.
But a lot of the scenes from the first Joker were improvised. So I feel like as long as there was Joaquin Phoenix, it would have a chance.
Yeah,
All great scenes are improvised.
that's not true.
A lot of them
A
are.
lot of them.
A
Not
lot
all
of them
of them.
are.
Did you say a lot or all?
I said a lot of them. Well, that's what I meant to say. I might have said
Okay,
all.
I think you said all, and
But
I was
I
like,
mean to say a lot of them. I don't mean all of them.
okay. How about your number 6?
My number 6 always important to me. Captain America. I just think it's pretty sweet. You know, he went and fought in World War II.
He is a hero.
He's my hero. He's an American hero. I think the next Captain America should be played by
Private Snyder.
Rowdy Snyder.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. The guy, saxophone player, nerdy type guy in high school. Now he's turned into this dude who can play the saxophone. But he looks very good.
So
And he has a girlfriend in Michigan.
he just needs to like get like a couple inches taller, and then he's
Yeah.
like perfect.
He ran a half mile in 2 minutes 20 seconds in full uniform. Impressive.
Climbed a mountain.
With very little food.
No, he did it in his free time.
Oh wait, what? I thought that was the time he went with very little food with his like mates.
I mean, he may have.
Oh wait, can I speak in a Rowdy form because he still speaks like this over in California? Hey mate, I'm Rowdy. I am Australian because he told everybody he's Australian.
You just outed him to like his entire platoon.
They're not gonna watch.
They're not
this.
gonna watch. Hopefully not. This one goes viral, 3 million views, and he's like. Hopefully he's gone by then. Yeah,
Okay.
but you guys want to say the Pledge of Allegiance real quick?
Nope. Okay. Number 6.
My number 6 is Nightwing, which is what I was
Dick
asking.
Grayson.
Yeah. I mean, it's like vigilante Robin.
Yeah, Nightwing's a good
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
It was interesting how he decided to stop being Robin too. Like, Batman was like too brutal.
Yeah, he didn't care.
And then Dick Grayson's like, you do you. I'm out. I'm gonna go do nice stuff.
Batman was just
for
a jerk.
People in Bloodhaven. And then, yeah, Nightwing has some good stuff going on. Yeah. Again, I'll get to him. My number 6 is John Constantine. He's a cheeky British guy who does cult stuff and worships demons in order to summon demons and stuff. And all of like the cool mystical DC or Vertigo comic books like Swamp Thing and the Sandman and his own series as well. John Constantine's always just around just doing crazy magic stuff all the time. I like John Constantine.
I'm about to be sneeze, man. Okay, I think I'm good. I put Yeah. So, number 5, I put Thor.
Which Thor?
I think it's kind of a broad. I don't know which one I would put as my favorite. I just think it's always fascinated me. The God of Thunder, I think it's pretty sweet. The new Thor in Endgame was cringe, like I said earlier. But you know, just the power is mostly the reason I think I'm putting him that high. Another thing I probably don't like about him, I'm sorry to complain about my number 5, but he's the god of thunder, and he's lost some stuff that I was kind of iffy about in the past. I can't really think. But you know, it's more of the superpower, I guess. But that's pretty sweet, you know, the god of thunder, being able to wield thunder. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Mjolnir is a cool weapon too.
It is. And even,
Well, so is Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker's pretty sweet too.
I think doesn't Beta Ray Bill use Stormbreaker in the comics though?
I don't know.
I think Beta Ray Bill uses Stormbreaker in the comics.
Are you number 5 though?
My number 5 is Spider-Man. Just like you said, it's just, you know, it's a cool universe that he's in.
Yeah, he's like a real guy.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a super dreary place. I mean, it's just New York. Like, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. My number 5 is Tim Drake. Whether we're talking about Tim Drake Robin or Tim Drake Red Robin, my number 5 pick is Tim Drake. I think Tim Drake is the best Robin as far as the relationship with Batman goes. He's definitely the most support for Batman. He's the most adequate Robin because Batman, you know, he's always got this thing where he always tries to do stuff alone, and he knows he needs help, but he's always like, yeah, I don't need help. Tim Drake is always the one that's backing him up, like, you need Robin. You need Robin. Like, whenever Jason Todd died, it was Tim Drake who's like, Batman needs a Robin. Somebody has to be looking out for him. He can't just keep doing this. He's going to get killed. And I don't know. Tim Drake, he's like a really mature, smart, detective-like Robin. And Red Robin, I've not read as much of that, but Tim Drake is a great character. And he's got a lot of spirit behind him and stuff, but he's my favorite Robin for Batman. Okay, you're number 4.
My number 4 is Hulk, and it's mostly because of the fact that he's so simple. I mean, he's pretty simple.
He's very not simple.
Yeah, but like when it comes to power, you know, he's just
Big
incredibly strong. You know?
Yeah, but that's why Hulk is good. It's because his power is simple, but like everything else is so complicated.
But his power is very simple.
Like his psychology is nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts. I don't like new Hulk. Again, I don't like
Professor Hulk.
No. I do like Hulk in Infinity War losing to Thanos because I thought it was pretty sweet. I know that's a bad thing, I guess, about Hulk. That's probably one of my favorite moments with Hulk is because it just shows the pure power of Thanos to be able to, you know. And Hulk was winning at first, you know. He had the upper hand.
No, he didn't. Thanos just wasn't trying.
I guess you could say that, but you know, he at a time, I guess you could say, you know, oh hey, he's kind of well, never mind.
So what do you think about Lou Ferrigno?
Yes. That's all my thoughts. Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Hulk
thought.
Lifted a mountain one time in a comic book.
That's pretty sweet.
Okay, you're number 5.
My number 4 is Wolverine. And I've got Wolverine just because I think he's really one of the classics. Mm-hmm. More so when it comes to the movies, at least. Because, I mean, X-Men, everyone knows about X-Men.
How do you feel about Logan?
Huh?
How do you feel about Logan?
I mean, it was good.
I will say I couldn't care less about Wolverine in the comic books, but
in the movies,
Hugh
I think
Jackman's
he's
portrayal of Wolverine is so good.
It is, yeah.
And Logan, man, that's some top-notch movie right there.
But I will say, I kind of lost interest in X-Men when they started doing all the time travel stuff.
I think it was great.
Days
of
wasn't a big
Future
fan.
Past is easily my second favorite movie from the X-Men series. Easily. I love Michael Fassbender's portrayal of Magneto and all that. It's such a good movie. But I can get why you wouldn't like it. It's a little comic booky. It's a little much.
Well, you know, yeah, I just don't like the whole idea of time travel when it comes to stuff like that.
It's a little much, yeah. Okay. You got anything else you want to say about the man himself?
So what's yours?
My number 4 is Swamp Thing. God, what a good character. Alan Moore, he's the guy who wrote Watchmen as well. He wrote a Swamp Thing run in the 80s maybe, and it humanized Swamp Thing so much. Like, you guys would suspect that Swamp Thing's not a human. He's not really. It's complicated, but he's just such a wise, nice man. He's just. He always has run-ins with John Constantine. He's getting mad because John Constantine's like mocking him and stuff. But Swamp Thing's just a really good character. He's always just like at the borders of everything else that's going on. He's just trying to save people's lives and stuff. He's just a really good hero. He's soft-spoken. He's not overly dramatic. You know, he's not in the giant DC events. You're not going to see him like fighting Darkseid one-on-one.
No, the only time he's like really gotten a ton of exposure was Injustice.
What happened in Injustice with Swamp Thing?
He was just in it. I mean, it was a small roster of characters, but it included him.
Yeah, he's just a really good character.
My number 3 is The Flash, not because of the new show, because it was, it was okay in like the first season. And it got cringy. But I'm more focused, and it's just the power, the superpower. Again, it's so sweet. Like I said earlier, if I could do anything, I'd run really fast.
My favorite Flash stuff is the interactions between the multiple Flashes. Because in
like
the comic
Anti-Flash?
books, no, like the different people that have been the Flash, like Wally West and Barry Allen and all those people.
Yeah.
Like they all have like a relationship with each other. Like they're all like, it's kind of like all the Robins, whenever their relationship with each other. The Flashes kind of have that. It's just nice. It's kind of like brother. They're like family. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
Okay, well, my number 3 is Gambit, also from X-Men series, but I think he's cool just because.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, like no one would ever really think about Gambit, but someone who uses like a bow staff and cards as his weapons that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. My number 3 is Batman, the Bruce Wayne Batman. This Batman, he starts out good all the time, and I'm not talking about like movie Batman. I'm talking more comic book side. But in the comic books, he has this crazy habit of at the end. You guys know what comic book runs are?
Not
Okay, authors write comic books for a period of years, like that, and from one to the end of whenever they write. An author, from the beginning of an author's take on that superhero to the end of it, that's called their run with that hero. And Batman, like every run that a major author does these days, at the end of it, Bruce Wayne is like a god. Like he comes back from the dead like 12 times. He kills like the most important characters, or he defeats them. And I love the character. He's my 3rd favorite superhero. But he's a little too much. He's a little too OP, honestly. And it kind of takes away from his character sometimes. And you'll still have really good moments with him whenever it's like the smaller stuff, like whenever some bad stuff goes down with Damian Wayne, his son. And Nightfall, you see that he's a little more vulnerable, and then he just disappears for a while. But Bruce Wayne Batman is a really, really good character. He's just he's too much for my taste. What's your second?
Spider-Man. He was probably my first superhero, and like we were talking about earlier, Maguire's version of Spider-Man I thought was nice. It was real. It was real. It was real people. He was nerd. James Franco's awesome. I think in the first movies, and the relationship with his dad, it was like it's interesting. I really liked the movies, and it makes Spider-Man my second favorite superhero. I love those movies. There's probably second favorite superhero trilogy right there.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Deadpool.
Okay.
Well,
had to do it to us.
I liked Deadpool not because of the movie, but just because like his whole comic book like personality, I mean, like it was just kind of a lighthearted superhero, and I like that it would just casually throw in like fourth wall breaks and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think they took that meme too far. Like, there's like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I'm like, come on, man.
Well,
what is going on?
I don't really read all the comic books, so I'm going based off of pretty limited knowledge.
I didn't read that one, but I'm just like, that's not necessary. Like, we get that Deadpool's like this just insanely powerful OP character that never dies, so on and so forth. But it's like, dude, that's just too much.
Yeah, I like Deadpool, but like, I couldn't count him as a superhero.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
I wouldn't count
He's
him.
been a villain, and he's an anti-hero, I think, a lot.
I'd call him an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's an
worse.
anti-hero for sure.
Deadpool's definitely out for Deadpool all the time.
Yeah. Great movies, though. I like the new movies. They're freaking hilarious.
They're good. Ryan
The second one
kills it, man.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's
And
great
old
portrayal.
Ryan Reynolds Deadpool was like in the X-Men movie. What was that X-Men movie?
X-Men Origins Wolverine sucked.
Oh, dude, with the mouth and everything, he looked terrible. He looked stupid. It sucked. The movie's terrible. I watched that in theaters. Trash.
Yeah, real bad.
Yeah, new Deadpool.
My number 2 superhero is Rorschach from Watchmen.
Rorschach.
You really like Watchmen.
Yeah, I like Watchmen. It's the best book ever written. Of course I like Watchmen. But Rorschach is like... he's a victim of like abuse and neglect as a child. And he got bullied and stuff. And he is the product of a broken society. That he's like... It morphs him into like this super brutalist, mean guy, but he still cares about certain people. But you can tell that he's just broken. He is the broken product of society. He borders on anti-hero because he doesn't really save good people. He just gets rid of bad people. He's such a good character, though. There's so much depth to him. And the stuff he says, it's so grim, but it's honest, it's real. And sometimes, like, he does throw out some pretty good quotes, like, never compromise, not even in the face of Armageddon. And I'm not going to say what happens after that, but it's bad. It's bad. But he has so much conviction. He knows what's right and wrong, and he never goes against it. He would happily die before giving up what's right. That he's nuts. He's insane. Though it's clear that he's insane, and he just murders bad people all the time. But man, you guys just got to read Watchmen.
I think I will.
You gotta read that book, man. It's you can borrow my copy.
Okay.
Rorschach,
I will.
man.
So I guess we'll go on to number 1.
Yep.
Number 1 is Batman, because of the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm not a big superhero guy, like I keep saying. That is my favorite trilogy. Especially the first 2 movies are great. Christian Bale, great actor. I like the guy. We watched American Psycho the other day.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. Just another, reason why Christian Bale's awesome. But yeah, he really shines in this trilogy, and it made Batman probably my favorite superhero, even though I'm not a big superhero guy, like I keep saying. But yeah.
Yeah.
Those movies really nailed the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Alfred.
Yeah, they do. Especially, and that's one good thing about the last movie. Is, it's sad. Like, Alfred's like...
But he would never do that.
No, he would never do that. But what's good is I like the ending, like with Alfred. When he goes to the restaurant and,
It sucks.
I like the end. I like the end. But I agree with you. It would probably never happen. But I like the ending. It's just kind of sweet.
My
You think he
biggest...
died. But it was like, did he die?
My
easy
biggest
to
issue
think
with
of.
that trilogy is I just don't like the voice.
Yeah, it's a little much.
It's it's fine, but after a certain
In one
point,
deleted scene, they say that it's a voice modifier, but they cut it out. So now it's like, I'm actually making this voice.
yeah, and like eventually, after a certain point, I just can't deal with it. Like it's too much.
Well, Batman is known for being a little much. Batman 89 is a little much, but like
Yeah, but
Batman
it's not,
from the '60s
it's
is a
not
lot
a little
much.
much in the irritating direction.
yeah, but Batman is known for being.
Not irritating. That is actually a little bit irritating.
Yeah, like I
Think-
figure.
I never thought it was that irritating. I thought
Well,
it was
if there,
Batman.
I would have figured
I
he'd
don't
be.
dislike it, but I can understand why Owen would.
I would figure he'd be more like the quiet type throughout the movies.
Yeah. Speak very little.
I like Christian Bale. He's pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Sure. Okay, Owen, what's your number one?
My number one is Jean Grey. I mean, I think she's pretty powerful. And I don't know. It's kind of cool because, it's. I mean, it's. I think it's. Yeah, it's the only female superhero on my list. But I think it's cool just because she's got that much power, and is just able to do pretty much whatever she wants with it.
Yeah. And you see her struggle with the good side and the bad side.
Yeah, yeah.
That's yeah.
Because I feel like you would have that kind of struggle if you were.
Sure. Because she's still got that strong like emotional side and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good character. Good top pick. My top pick is Batman, but the Dick Grayson Batman. During the period after the Final Crisis event in the DC Universe, Dick Grayson, who is also Nightwing and the first Robin, took over the mantle of Batman. And he had a brief period of time where he was Batman and Bruce Wayne's son, Damian Wayne, was Robin. That is gold, man. That Dick Grayson Batman is easily the best version of Batman. He's the best detective. He's not overly brutal. He's not overly powerful. He's just really, really good, well-rounded Batman. And he's still got that sort of light heart spirit of Robin, but it's a little darker and aged as he's Batman. And Robin takes on more of the aggressive position, and it's just such a calm, like contemplative Batman. I love it, man. I've not read one story with Dick Grayson Batman that I've disliked. From Black Mirror, like Dick Grayson Batman is the pinnacle of detective Batman, for sure. But yeah,
That might be our longest top 10. That was a long descriptive top 10.
yeah,
Not a bad thing. And especially for 3 people. Wow.
yeah.
We're at 2 hours and 3 minutes, it looks like, and that's
Oh,
the
man.
second
Oh my
longest
gosh.
podcast.
What's
behind
the
Ube
longest?
With Ube and Yusef.
2 hours 7 minutes.
I bet that was an
It
interesting
was
one.
good.
We're just gonna wait 5 minutes to break the record.
Okay, here's a message from Reality Corporation to anybody watching or listening. We talked a lot about superheroes today, but we support you as a person. You are a good person as you are. You don't need superhero powers
No, you don't.
to do the great things. And you also don't need them to do bad things. So please just do good things.
Yeah, do good things.
We need these superheroes in society to inspire us and to push us to do better and do more. And if you do anything, please read Watchmen. It's great. Comic books, yeah, they're a little geeky, but they can really make you realize some more things about humans and life. Some comic books I'd recommend is the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing, Watchmen, of course, and the Grant Morrison run of Batman. That's important. But you know your superheroes, guys. Superheroes are good. They're gonna inspire you to go further. It's not stupid. Just learn to love these good things, and I think you'll have a positive reaction to that. That's a message from my heart to everybody that's watching or listening.
Now a message from our sponsors.
In 2018, the non-Terman party voted yes when it came to tax, raising taxes on
Gay abortion.
Yeah, to gay abortion. Terman will stop gay abortions. Vote for Terman 2020. Thank you.
Okay, this has been a good show.
Yep.
We've talked about a lot. Thank you for coming on, Owen.
Yeah, thanks
you
for having me.
You were a good guest, and of course, I think you were happy to come into the basement. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words?
Let's see. I don't think you're gonna break it. 206.
Darn.
Yeah, we're not going to push this anymore. We're not going.
No, this is no.
Dragging out the podcast. Yeah, it's at 206. Thank you guys for watching. The second longest podcast. Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are great. Good fans. Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.